Hello everyone, welcome back to Ravers Mead. I'll apologise if it's kind of loud and not quite good on the audio today. The motorway is really noisy and it's really windy as well. So I'm kind of sat down here, kind of behind the stables at the moment, hoping it might be a little bit quieter. I'm a little bit more out of the wind, but yeah, apologies in advance if it sounds a bit rubbish today, guys. So today's video, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the things you need to take with you when you go to a horse show. So we went to our first show a couple of weeks ago and we forgot a lot of stuff. So I have done myself a little list for this weekend. I did have a list last year. I don't know where it went or what happened to it, but I've redone my little show day list. I felt like I need to print a copy of this out and laminate it and keep it down here somewhere so we've got it. Well, that's a good idea actually. If it was laminated, we could then tick them all off with like a whiteboard marker, and then we could rub it off afterwards and use it again for the next show. See, that is a good plan. Yeah, that is a very good plan. But for today, I'm just going to use my good old pen and paper. So yeah, lots of things you're going to want to take with you when you go to a horse show. Just realised I can probably just prop Kevin on there. Yes, I can prop Kevin on there. So I'm just going through my little list. I've got a load of stuff out here. I'm going through my list right now. So I've got kind of tack stuff and grooming-y stuff and people-y stuff and then stuff for the horse. So I would say the stuff for the horse is probably the most important list for going to a show. So regardless of how far you're travelling, how long you think you're going to be gone, even if you think you're only going to be gone for like an hour tops, I would always take these horsey essentials with me, just in case, because you never know, you might get delayed, you might get caught in traffic, you might have a breakdown. So I've got hay on here, hay, water, so we'll take a couple of hay nets with us, a couple of big nets. I always take at least one of these full of water. I'm so sorry about the wind, everyone. See, that's how windy it is right now. Didn't pick a good day for this, did I? So yeah, a couple of nets of hay, at least one can of water. If we're taking more horses, then obviously we'd take more water. And always remember to take a bucket with you as well for the water. Done that before, where we've gone to give the horse a drink and we're like, oh damn, we didn't bring a bucket. That was dumb. So the bucket is on my list now. Pooper scooper and a big trug to put your poops in. Yeah, like one of them. Always take a pooper scooper with you, especially if you're showing, because the last thing you want is for your horse to do a poop in the trailer and then you leave the poop in the trailer and then the horse stands in the poop, especially if you've got feathered horses like ours with white legs. You don't want them smushing the poop around into their feathers. So always take a pooper scooper, always take a bucket to put the poop in. Yeah, so a lot of venues get a bit funny about you leaving poop behind, hence we always take the big bucket with us. Some places don't have a problem with it, like some places will go around doing like collections, they'll bring a wheelbarrow around throughout the day and you can offload your poop onto them and they'll take it away to the muck heap. But a lot of places ask you to take it with you, so always take a very big bucket for that. It's useful to have a big bucket for other reasons as well. If you're a horsey person, you'll kind of get that reference, and if you're not a horsey person, then you just don't need to know. So hay, water, bucket for the water, pooper scooper, treats. Always take treats with me. I've actually got treats in my pocket now, I think. Yes, I have got treats in my pocket now because we had the vet this morning, so Blue and Stumpy had their vaccination, so they had sweeties. But I always keep treats, especially for show days, because, you know, if your horse does good, you want to give them a sweetie. Well, I do anyway. And I've got one more item on the sort of the horsey list, which is bucket feed. So I put a question mark by that one because I wouldn't always take a bucket feed. It depends. Like, if we know we're going to be away for most of the day, then I would probably take their bucket feed with them just so that they can have their tea at a relatively normal time. Obviously, if your sort of schedule for the day permits them to have their tea at the normal time. But, you know, if we're going to be back sort of within a reasonable hour, I probably wouldn't bother to take their bucket feed. So that's kind of my horsey essentials list. And then everything else is kind of relevant to the main event. So first one we've got is bridle, which needs a really good clean. Yeah, I think I got chalk all over it last time. It didn't go well, so that needs a really good polish. That's going to be one of my jobs for this evening, actually. So I put saddle on here as well, and saddle pad, because yes, I have forgotten to take a saddle pad with me before to a show before. Whoops. So yeah, saddle and saddle pad, not relevant for us for this show because it's in-hand showing, but yeah. You'd be surprised how often people get to shows and realise they've forgotten their tack, so it seems silly to put it on the list, but I feel like it belongs on the list, just to spare ourselves any problems. And I always take a spare head collar and a spare lead rope with us to shows now, as well as the one that the horse is wearing, because we've had a few problems in the past with Mr. Blueberry. He's really good at breaking things. He is just a one-man wrecking ball, and he's broken head collars at events in the past, and we've had to go buy stuff there. And it was just lucky that the event he's done it at happened to have like trade stands, so we could buy another one. So I've learnt the lesson the hard way. Keep a spare head collar and a spare lead rope in the trailer, just in case Blue does a blue. I've got lunge line as well. I see we didn't take this to the last show, and I really could have used having a lunge line when I was warming him up. I mean, I don't know if we were technically supposed to be lunging in that arena. It didn't really specify, but even if I wasn't intending to actually lunge him, it would have been nicer to have a longer lead rope, just so that I could get more than, 3 foot away from the bronking idiot. So, yeah, if you haven't seen our last show vlog, the warm-up was interesting to say the least. He was very fresh, and I wish I had a longer rope. So the long line lunge rope, whatever we call it, that is back on the list. Historically, I've usually taken a long line out to help with loading problems with Woody. He's quite a bad loader, and it's easier to have a long line, so you can just kind of go in the box and kind of coax him in, and it's easier. I like having the long line. And a couple of other things on the list. I put that one in the wrong list. I've got show cane on that list, although I suppose a show cane kind of counts as tack. But yeah, I've got a show cane on there, obviously for in-hand or ridden showing. You're probably going to want to take a fancy show cane with you. And I've got a couple of other things on this list. Rugs. So I always take a stable rug. I mean, to be fair, most people, when they travel their horse, they put a stable rug on them when they travel them anyway, so that might be a bit of an irrelevant point. Your horse might already be wearing one. But we also take a turnout rug with us, just in case it rains. Because there's nothing worse than getting your horse all ready and you're waiting by the show ring, waiting for a class to finish or whatever. Maybe it's one of those venues where you're parked like half a mile away from the show ring and you just have to hover somewhere closer, so you don't miss your times. And worst thing ever is when you're hovering, waiting to go into your class, and the heavens open and your horse gets soaked. So always keep a turnout rug for days out, just so we can keep them dry and clean, especially if you've got a horse actually that doesn't like to go back on the lorry in a hurry. Again, using Woody as an example here. Like with Blue, we can just chuck him back in the trailer or back in the lorry. He's quite happy to go in and out, doesn't bother him. But Woody will just stand there and end up looking like a drowned rat, bless him. So turnout rug, definitely a useful thing to have. So yeah, on to the next little section of my list I've got here. Grooming kit. I should probably specify on there that it should be a clean grooming kit. So I've just got a mixture of brushes in mine. I don't actually take that many brushes for showing because generally speaking the horses are really clean by the time we get them there. It's so windy. So I always keep a magic brush in there. See, these need cleaning from last time actually. I've got a dandy brush, I've got a body brush. I've got a couple of mittens in there as well, like for sort of hot oiling and polishing them up and making them all nice and shiny. And lots of cloths. Always keep lots of cloths in there. Baby wipes as well. I actually put baby wipes as a separate item because I didn't have any usable baby wipes in my grooming kit for the last show. They'd all kind of dried up where they were just old and So fresh packet of baby wipes, must have. Towels. Now I haven't actually got any towels out yet, I've just realised. Good job I put it on my list. Towels are a must-have, just for wiping the horses, polishing them. They're useful as well. Like if you're chalking, like if you've got gypsy cobs and you're chalking, you get plastered, so it's kind of nice to have a towel to clean yourself up with a bit. Didn't have that last show, and I looked like a Yeti woman basically. It wasn't good. What else have I got on this list? So some sort of coat shine or grooming spray or oil, we like to sort of hot oil them. That's always a good one. I prefer using oil over grooming spray products just because it's a bit more natural. Coconut oil is my new favourite thing, so I need to remember to pack my coconut oil. Shampoo and or some kind of stain remover, just in case you get to the show and realise you've got dirty marks somewhere. So chalk, can't remember if I said chalk already, but you guys are kind of sat on the chalk at the moment, so I'm not going to show you it, but probably not relevant if you don't have feathered horses, but that is a must-have for us. Don't fall over, Kevin! Crazy weather! And the last thing I've got on this little list is fly spray. I'm not going to take any to this show just because of the time of year, but in the summer it is so important to make sure you take fly spray just so your horse isn't getting like harassed by insects all day, and also sun cream. But I've put sun cream on my human list for some reason, but you know, sun cream for humans and for horses would be advisable in the summer months. And now my last little bit of my list is like the people-y stuff. Food and drink. Now, I am rubbish for remembering to eat on show days. Mum usually gets like a greasy burger or bacon butty or something, but I don't eat that. I don't eat meat, so yeah, I get a bit funny with food. Like if they've got chips, I'll get chips, but I forget to eat a lot of the time at these events. So must remember to pack and take snacks and water. We always forget to drink on show days as well, and then we get halfway through and we've all got splitting dehydration headaches. You'd think we would have learnt by now, but we don't. So it's going on the list. Money as well. Oh my goodness. Yeah, money as well. Always take some cash with you and or your bank card. There might be, like we've got caught out before where they've been hidden like first aid costs or something like that, or you might want to buy some photos on the day, or you might want to buy some food. There might be trade stands there, so always take some cash with you or take your card with you. Most places do take card now, to be fair, but some don't still, so I'd, cash and card maybe, bit of both. What else have I got on here? Show clothes, obviously you need to remember to take show clothes. Human waterproofs, so we talked about taking waterproofs for the horse. Definitely take human waterproofs as well. Nothing worse than getting soaked to your skin and then having to spend another 2 hours at the showground. That's just not fun. What else have I got on here? Chairs! We forgot the chairs last time because we're idiots. Luckily Ian brought some. He had our back there. But yeah, chairs definitely. There's a lot of sitting around at horse shows, so you want something comfy to sit on, preferably. So get some good fold-up chairs, take them with you. Passport, horse passport. Always take your horse passport whenever you're travelling your horse. Put that on my list. We're usually pretty good at remembering, but we have forgotten a few times now. Whoops. Couple of other random things I've got on here. Leather polish. Yeah, don't want to forget the leather polish, like for polishing your tack and polishing your boots at the last minute. And a hole punch. Like, we had somebody ask us at the last show, like, if we had a hole punch, and it suddenly dawned on me that that's probably something we should keep in our show kit. Right, and I got one last thing. Oh no, two last things. I missed something off one of my other lists. Clippers, or trimmers in this case. Trimmers or scissors. Always take some kind of cutting tool with you. Preferably trimmers, just because they're a bit more versatile. Like, you can tidy up manes and tails with these if you need to, as well as tidying up any sort of nicks or messy bits on their coat. Always worth keeping a small pair of trimmers in your show kit. I mean, these don't live in our show kit, but I'm definitely going to take them with us tomorrow. And the last thing on here, kind of a lol item, but it has turned out to be a necessity on some occasions. It's painkillers, human painkillers. Because if you're having a rough day and your horse is being a pain in the backside, like he was a couple of weeks ago, and he squishes you into a wall and you end up running for 20-30 minutes with him, and you pull all your tendons and your arm's getting pulled out of its socket, and then he goes and stands on your mum's foot as well and cripples her temporarily. So when you're having that kind of day, it's really nice if you have some painkillers in your grooming kit to just neck a few so you can survive the rest of the day. So that deserves to live on the list, I think. Painkillers must live in that box, especially when showing blue. Not so concerned when we take the others out, but especially when we're showing blue. Just goes to show how much fun showing horses is, right? So yeah, that's my little list, that's my little show list. Oh, this wind sucks, people. I feel sorry for Blue having to have a bath in this evening. He's gonna get so chilly, bless him. It's not cold out, to be fair. It's actually about 14, 15 degrees. It's just really, really windy. He'll dry quickly, though, I suppose, is, you know, that's the flip side of it. So yeah, that's my little show day list. Yeah, I think I'm gonna post this in our little, what was that playlist I started? Beginner's Guide to Showing Comps. That was it. I think I'm going to post this in that little playlist. Just because I feel like if you've not done much showing before, or you've not done much competing before, this might be helpful for people. Just to give you an idea of the kinds of things you need to be thinking about taking with you when you're travelling your horse. Now this list as well, this is for like day travelling. This is for like a day show, not a stay over show. If you're planning on going to a 2-3 day event where you're sleeping over and your horse is staying over as well, then there's going to be a whole load of other stuff that you need to think about. I mean, you'd be wanting to take a wheelbarrow, substantially more hay, lots more bucket feed as well. You'd be needing to think about bedding, yeah, all sorts of other things you need to think about. But this is just for a day out, basically. So yeah, I hope that helps. If anybody's never gone anywhere with their horse before, this is a pretty good starting point for you, just to help you figure out what you need to take with you. Yeah, thanks for watching today, guys, and I'll see you on our next video. Bye!